and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Vaughn.
Here.
Kurtz.
Here.
Hayward.
Here.
Hill.
Yes.
Scharf.
Here.
O'Loughlin.
Yes.
Hannah.
Yes.
Thank you. Next, we have an amendment to our agenda tonight. We will not be doing the recognition of firemen since Mr. Wolfkuhl could not be here. We might be able to do that at the next meeting. So we'll take that off, and I will ask for a motion to approve the amended agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Scharf, second by O'Loughlin. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carried. Nobody signed in for public comments, so we will go on to, I need a motion to accept and approve the consent agenda that approves the following: the minutes of the June 24th, 2019 regular meeting, city budgeted and monthly transfers for June, Chung Garden Class B beer includes wine coolers and Sunday sales liquor license, July 1, 2019 through June 30th, 2020. Independence Park and Rec Class B beer includes wine coolers and Sunday sales liquor license, July 10th, 2019 through July 9th, 2020. And Crowbar LLC Class C commercial and outdoor service liquor license, May 15th, 2019 through May 14th, 2020. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Scharf,
Second.
second by Hannah. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion is carried. Next on the agenda is approval of claims for payment.
So moved.
Motion by, I forgot your name. Who was
Hill.
that again? He's been gone so long, I
I
forgot.
missed one meeting.
I had to rub it in. Motion by Hill, seconded by
Second.
Hannah. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carried. Next on the agenda is approval for a petition from the public for hunting at 802 9th Avenue Southeast for the 2019 bow season.
We're requesting to get permission again this year.
Okay,
We did get a deer last year. I didn't hunt because I had knee surgery, but my son did.
okay. And you are, what's your first name?
Kent.
Kent? Okay,
Kent Young.
you have that? All righty. Any discussion, or do I hear a motion?
I make the motion.
You guys stay on your,
He's on our property.
okay.
Yes, sir.
Ken, I had a comment made to me that there were some deer carcasses left out in the yard on the premises down by the creek.
I don't know for sure.
Well, you may want to check with your, make sure that they're not leaving stuff out. Neighbors were
Okay.
not very happy about that. I don't think there were any other issues, but
Okay.
that would be the one thing. You need to keep the area cleaned up. Don't need critters.
It's on your property. Is it just you and your son that hunt, or do you invite other friends to go hunting
It's
with?
just been my son and I.
Okay.
I second it.
Did I hear a motion?
I made the motion.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. Motion by Hannah, second by Hill. All those in favor say aye.
I'll do a
Aye.
roll call.
Opposed? Oh, you need a roll call. Sorry about that.
We did in the past.
Okay.
Kurtz.
Yes.
Hayward.
Yes.
Hill.
Yes.
Scharf.
Yes.
O'Loughlin.
Yes.
Hannah.
Yes.
Vaughn.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Motion is carried.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ken.
Next on the agenda is Rob Ratchford in regards to golf carts. Just please give us your name and address.
Rob Ratchford, 1212 Fifth Street Northeast. Coming before you, I'd like the city to allow the use of golf carts within the city limits. And if approved, I think discussion over restrictions similar to what other cities are doing and allowing. And in the past week and a half, I've done quite a bit of research going through a lot of city codes. And what I've come up with is cities that have a bigger population than Independence, such as Marion, Marshalltown, Muscatine, North Liberty, Boone, Oskaloosa, Pella, Lamar's, Grinnell, Denison, Clear Lake, Sioux City, Knoxville, Atlantic, all allow golf carts. And if you're looking at like Marion, who has 6 times the population that we do here in Independence, they allow golf carts. The second one I mentioned, Marshalltown, has 5 times the population we have here in Independence, also allows golf carts. Along with those restrictions that, they put road restrictions, so like out here would be a 150 restriction. You can only either cross over 150, you can't drive down 150. And that's all I'm asking for. It's not, I'm gonna take it here and take it down to Raleigh or something like that. That's not what I'm asking for. I'm asking for, basically, I want in my neighborhood to be able to drive down to the neighbors without having to ride a bike or something like that, or something I could, take my kid on around. I guess with some of that, you also gotta be licensed and have insurance and stuff like that. And a lot of cities are doing it where they have to have the golf carts inspected every year by members of the police force in that town, and it has to be registered and stuff like that. So I'd like the council to take that into consideration.
How fast do golf carts go?
Maximum probably 25.
Okay.
And I know I started a petition on Facebook, and I've had upwards of a couple hundred people sign the petition on Facebook. It was just my Facebook. I shared it on a couple of the community pages too. And in that short amount of time, I had a couple hundred show support of it. I think one big item, it could bring some revenue to the city if we're registering, paying for that registration every year. And also an opportunity for a small business to come into town to take care of those golf carts, because there's also that too.
They also would have to have the triangle thing on the back of it for slow-moving vehicle.
Yeah, that would be something that you guys would have to put restrictions on, and that would be fine too. I mean, I know we allow ATVs in town with restrictions and stuff like that. I talked to Dustin a couple times on Facebook, and he mentioned there had been a few problems with the ATVs, but I don't think it's something to where it's all blown out of proportion where we need to take the ATVs away.
What I want to find out is, what are the insurance implications? Am I paying more for my insurance because the state of Iowa allows ATVs and some cities allow golf carts? If that's the case, then that's a no-brainer for me. If that's because of the risk factor.
I don't know if you would take the risk into your.
No, but the insurance companies, when they rate risk and those things are allowed, then that enhances the risk, which means rates go up.
Rates go up for everybody that's insured with the company, you mean? I think there's also an age limit by state law, and that it has to be only daytime hours. I looked up some of the restrictions as far as state level was concerned. Is this something we should take to one of the committees, either finance or Public Safety Committee, to look at, review, evaluate?
Says the finance committee.
It says the-
How many bribes do we
You
get?
guys just don't want to make any money, do you?
Do you have paperwork there you can leave with us that you've done your research on, that we can turn over to the committee and they could review, or?
Or make
Or
comments
drop
on
it
it.
off.
I basically went through a lot of the cities and printed off such regulations that, like North Liberty, for example, what they expect if you're gonna use a golf cart in town, what you need to follow all of these, and a lot of what you said, they gotta have the triangle, they gotta have the flag, you gotta have a driver's license. It's not allowed on I-380, Highway 965, stuff like that.
And you said something about taking your child, because in one of the state regulations I saw was some limitation of age of people riding on a golf cart. How old is your child?
My child's 7.
7? Yeah, there was some kind of, I just had to stop in my research, so I didn't get that far on it, but there was a limitation for children. Definitely, they can't be driving
Right,
one,
yep.
so.
You have to have a licensed driver and all.
Because
the-
they don't have seat belts or anything like
No.
that on them.
No. And I know there was some people on Facebook that, I was on Facebook for like a week and a half, you know, deflecting stuff and talking to people, stuff like that. And there was some on there that were against it. In every situation or everything that you guys handle, there's always gonna be naysayers to it. But their concern was, well, what happens if a semi hits a golf cart or something like that? Well, what happens if you're on a motorcycle and it hits a motorcycle? It's the same thing.
But a motorcycle is licensed, those people are usually trained to ride that motorcycle to get their license, and there's a difference between a golf cart and a motorcycle as far as being on the street is
So what
concerned.
about a bicycle then?
They,
I would ask, Steve, do you have any communities you represent that have golf carts?
Everyone that he cited, Marion, Marshalltown, North Liberty, not everyone, not the long list, but the short list. So I could reach out and see the good and the bad that they've
Yeah.
seen.
Could you maybe send the committee, public safety, some information from those communities, and we can discuss it and
I think this conversation would be better if we had some background on it, and not to take away from what you've done, but I don't think this is a good setting for the council to make an informed decision tonight.
not tonight, no.
I would make a motion, we refer this to the Public Safety Committee.
I'd second that.
Have a motion and a second to refer this to Public Safety Committee. Public Safety Committee. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carried. We will
Thank you.
proceed. Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay. Next, we have a public hearing in regards to rezoning of 208, 210 Second Street Northeast, isn't it?
yes.
Okay. So I need a motion to receive and file proof of publication of notice of public hearing.
So moved.
Motion by Scharf.
Second.
Second by O'Laughlin. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carried. I need a motion to hold the public hearing.
So moved.
Motion by Scharf.
Second.
Second by O'Laughlin. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carried. We are now in public hearing. Was there anybody back there that would like to discuss this?
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
So, request is to rezone the old library and then the place right next to it. So 208 and 210 Second Street from a C1 to an RC1 to make it so you can actually have, if somebody wanted to live there, then make that available to them. So, I know in the past there was somebody living there before. This is basically making it concrete with the city to make the city and the assessor, everybody compliant, so.
Is this in the old library?
Yeah, yep. The old
At the
library.
doctor's office next to it.
Both of them.
No?
Both of them, yeah, 208 and 210. So these are separate, this is separate rezoning, but we're doing it at the same time since we're.
Has planning and zoning,
Yes, planning and zoning also wanted to motion to approve, so we had the meeting, let's see.
The second.
Yeah, the second, we're on there, so.
okay.
Did you get any information from anybody on this? Okay. Anybody have any other questions, discussion? Then I will ask for a motion to close the public hearing. I'm sorry,
Did you have anybody else that wanted,
do what?
was there anybody else that wanted to address it?
I asked that. Nobody came forward, so,
Motion to close the hearing.
thank you. Second?
Second.
Okay, Scharf and Kurtz, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carried. Then I need a motion to approve the request to rezone 208 to 210 Second Street Northeast from C1 to RC1.
So
Step
moved.
moved.
Second.
I had a harmony there.
Yep.
O'Laughlin and then Sharp.
You got them?
Yeah.
Okay. Roll call, please.
Hill,
Yes.
Sharp,
Yes.
O'Laughlin,
Yes.
Hannah.
Should I vote on that being I got the letter because I live in that area? Does that make a difference?
But
Yes, you can vote on that.
You can vote.
Yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
Kurtz,
Yes.
Hayward,
Yes.
Thank you, motion is carried. Next, we have a resolution that allows us to repay ourselves for work completed prior to bond proceeds being received as allowed by IRS code. So I need a motion to approve a resolution allowing for advance of funds for upcoming projects, which includes 150, Highway 150, and our,
Enterprise Drive East
okay,
and the 2019 street improvements projects.
okay.
I
This-
got a question on this. I'm just looking at the dates and it's all 2015. Why are they all 2015?
I'm drawing a blank on where you're finding 2015.
Under
John.
public content?
You're, aren't you on the next thing there,
Am
John?
I on the wrong one?
yeah.
Yeah,
You're 1, 2.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'll backtrack.
This simply,
Ignore my comment.
this simply allows the city to repay ourselves with bond proceeds. We talked last, at the committee of the whole, that there was a chance that we would have to issue a bond. Matter of fact, highly likely that we'll issue a bond. If any of the work is done ahead of that bond issue, this allows us to recapture that with the bond proceeds. In the case of the Highway 150 project, I'm not sure that we need it, but it's really not knowing how the DOT is going to do their reimbursement. It's a safety net for us to make sure that we can repay ourselves with that.
Is this something new that the IRS is,
We've done this, maybe half a dozen times since I've been here. This has been around a while. It just gives the state auditors something to fall back on as to why we're using the proceeds of the bond after we've already started the project.
are there any other questions? Did we get a motion for it?
I'll make a motion.
Motion from Hill, seconded by
Second.
Kurtz. Roll call?
Shar,
Yes.
McLaughlin,
Yes.
Hannah,
Yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
Kurtz,
Yes.
Hayward,
Yes.
Hill,
Yes.
Thank you, motion is carried.
One thing I would ask is, if the amount's is large, in the future, if we could just briefly go over this at a committee of the whole before a meeting like this, I would appreciate it.
And that's fine. The amounts in the reimbursement resolution are the maximum project costs.
Right, I
And,
understand that.
You know, we talked about the Highway 150 reconstruction. That's based on the concept statement. That's all we have to go on. Likewise with the Enterprise Drive East. That one we've looked at in our previous bond project, but we did not include in that all of the engineering costs, the things that we didn't have. We didn't have the bid at the time.
Well, with 150, isn't that our portion is the,
We just put the whole thing in there as a maximum reimbursement,
Okay.
because we don't know if we have to pay for it and the DOT will reimburse us at the end of the day, or are they gonna pay for it all and send us a bill? Again, not having any other information, it's only about covering us so that we can recoup our costs, whatever they might be. Took the absolute worst-case scenario.
Okay.
This does not mean that we're bonding for this much. It does not mean that we have to find this much money to, you know, until the bond comes out. It's just worst-case scenario on these projects.
okay?
So again, I want to emphasize it's basically a safety net for our financing of the projects as we go through it. And we know that the 2019 street project, we've already awarded that bid.
It was beneath that, so.
Right. And so it's, again, the worst-case scenario.
And without you guys approving that repayment, then we couldn't have done that.
Right.
Well, if we don't, yeah, if we start the project before we issue the bond, then we have to have that cash in hand versus having the bond. Again, we know the bond is out there. We've talked about that at the committee of the whole, having to issue that roughly $1.2 million bond for these projects. We just want to not stop the project or slow it down.
Okay.
But yes, I understand what you're saying. I apologize. I thought these were projects that were fairly well versed in the fact that.
But
we've
this
been talking-
concept with the IRS, I was unfamiliar with that. Since I've been on here, we've not done one of those.
No, and it's been a couple of years since we've done that because of the way our projects have come out. But in this case, it just makes more sense to give ourselves that protection.
Well, yeah.
Okay. In 2015, the building inspector had work done at the lots of city had recently sold. This work was paid for out of the city's Buildings Capital Project Fund. We are asking for authorization to take the proceeds that have been received in the general fund to pay off the debt that was incurred to get the properties ready for sale. That's why you have those dates of 2015. So the motion needs to be an approval, a resolution for the preparation and recording of transactions.
Have these people been waiting since 2015 to be paid by?
No, this is all internal transfers of money in our existing accounts or our existing funds. The house demo, utility work on the first two, that has to do with the house south of the fire station here. Asbestos removal was, I believe that was also on this.
$1,600.
Yeah, the other two were on the property that we just sold on Highway 150 and Fifth Street. There was a fire down there, and we had to do a demo there as well. Let me take that back. I apologize. These are all on the properties where we had the fire south of here. Am I remembering that right, Gina?
I believe so.
We
The one
had
on
the
the
house
corner.
that had the fire at Fifth and Third Avenue Southeast. We demoed it, created the vacant lot. We just sold the lot, but we had that in two lots in the northeast. We took all of the costs with those properties, pooled them together, and came up with our $11,500 per lot. So we've sold the last lot. We have those funds, but the funds come into the general fund. These were not in the general fund, so in order to transfer the money to offset these expenses, we need your permission to make that transfer.
So we're moving from one bucket to refill another bucket.
Yeah.
I'd make a motion, we approve it.
Motion by Kurtz,
Second.
second by Hannah. Roll call, please.
O'Loughlin,
Yes.
Hannah,
Yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
Kurt,
Yes.
Hayward,
Yes.
Hill,
Yes.
Sharp.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion is carried. Next, I need a motion to approve a resolution to assess property owners for Chapter 52 mowing failure to comply.
I make the motion.
I'll second it.
Motion by Hannah, second by O'Loughlin. Any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Hannah,
Yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
Kurt,
Yes.
Hayward,
Yes.
Hill,
Yes.
Sharp,
Yes.
O'Loughlin.
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carried. Next is, we have received a quote from Intercog to digitize and update our zoning maps, and this has not been updated in several years and is in need of updating. The funds for this have been approved for the current year CIP of $7,500. So we need a motion to approve agreement with Intercog for updating and digitizing planning and zoning maps.
So moved.
Motion by O'Loughlin.
Second.
Second by Scharf. Roll call, please.
I have just one question here.
Okay,
Will-
sorry.
If we digitize this, will it make it easier to update it as we go, as we're ongoing? I see we have quite a few things here we haven't.
Yeah, it'll be some easier to update. We don't have the capability in-house to do that, but I think the biggest advantage here is we will be able to make our zoning map available instead of, having people call in all the time. We have several people asking for, where can I find this? Right now, the official zoning map is here at City Hall, and so we get calls every week for confirming the zoning. I think your real estate agents are still going to, or the closing agents are still going to confirm it, but this would give us a chance to make it available to the public.
Okay, thank you.
Roll call.
Vaughn,
Yes.
Kurt,
Yes.
Hayward,
Yes.
Hill,
Yes.
Sharp,
Yes.
O'Loughlin,
Yes.
Hannah,
Yes.
Thank you. Motion is carried. Next, the council must authorize entering into a grant agreement for funding of the airport taxiway widening project, which we have been approved for. This is a 90-10 match, and I will need a motion to authorize entering into the agreement for AIP project number 3-19-0045-016-2019.
So moved.
Motion by Kurtz,
Second.
second by Hannah. Roll call, please.
Kurtz,
Yes.
Hayward,
Yes.
Hill,
Yes.
Shar,
Yes.
O'Loughlin,
Yes.
Hannah,
Yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
Thank you, motion carried. Next is the 150 supplemental agreement, which is our agreement with the state in regards to maintaining Highway 150. So I need a motion to approve the Iowa Department of Transportation supplemental agreement for the 2019-2020 Iowa Highway 150 project.
This extends our agreement with the DOT for maintenance of Highway 150 through the city of Independence, beginning at 8th Street southeast and moving to 16th Street northeast, which is the area that we generally maintain.
Has nothing to do with reconstruction.
This is just our agreement for things like snow removal and fixing potholes inside city limits.
When I saw the small amount that we get from the state, I thought, that's all they're gonna pay to replace that street? Are you kidding me?
I'd make a motion.
Second.
Thank you. Motion by Kurtz, second by Hill. Any other discussion? And roll call, please.
Hayward,
Yes.
Hill,
Yes.
Shar,
Yes.
O'Loughlin,
Yes.
Hannah,
Yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
Kurtz,
Yes.
Thank you. Motion carried. Next on the agenda was the closed session. Are we in need of that
No.
tonight? So we're done for that. Then our agenda's finished for that part. We're down to reports. Dustin, do you have anything?
Well, the 4th of July has come to close, and another good successful one this year.
You might need to get the mic closer to you. I don't know if that's even working, but. Thank you.
With the 4th of July closed, I know the fairgrounds, they're done now as well, so our celebrations are done for this year, for the most part, our big celebration anyway. So everything went out pretty well, not really many issues. We did have quite a few people in the park. The parade was packed every which way again, like it always has. So we'll have to look at that again next year for the route to see how it'll change or might change, so. As for that, I mean, in the city, wise, we've had a couple of issues with a couple of dogs attacking people, so please homeowner, or pet owners, take care of your animals, make sure that they're on a leash, that you have control of them. We don't need any other calls than what we have so far. Other than that, it's still middle of summer and great time to be outside, so, thank you.
You
Did
still
we
taking
have
action?
any problem with the fireworks that we had to write citations for? Or?
I didn't see any, and I didn't get many calls, if any, personally. I have seen a couple of fireworks going off, and I tried to find them, but usually they shoot off one here, and then they wait, and they shoot off one over there, so I haven't gotten to the point where I've actually located a certain place yet, so.
And when you hear them, you're not quite sure where it's coming from, what direction.
Usually you look at the sparkle in the sky and try to figure out which direction you need to go.
Yeah.
Otherwise, everything else just kind of echoes, and, well, I'm gonna go this direction or that direction, so.
Yeah.
I think our part of town had a couple of different pretty good fireworks displays. Somebody spent some money.
Yes, they did.
So, yep. Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Fire Department.
I don't have a whole lot of new stuff happening, other than we have had an extremely busy last 2 to 3 weeks. We've had a lot of calls. Guys have been very busy, getting worn out, so we did send the ladder truck down for helping them string some of the fireworks. They requested us to come down because usually Hosky helped with his truck, but due to situations there, he wasn't able to help them, and so they asked if we'd come down. So I said, yeah, we'd go down and help them string the fireworks with the ladder. We also did a joint effort with the police department and put the boat out to assist the DNR with the patrolling of the river there, so they're busy with that. And we still are waiting on information yet on our grass truck. So it's still slated for late July, early August, so it's out there a little ways yet.
Okay. Anybody have any questions? Him? Okay.
All right.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Don't see any other department heads. Was there any committees that met since we did last for any reports? Nope. Since Mr. Hill's been gone, we're going to let him start tonight as far as council. Do you have anything you'd like to share? Especially tell us all about your trip or something?
What? I got evicted from 3 countries, so what can I say?
Legally
They
evicted?
sent me back. Oh, had a good trip. We went on a tour, England, Scotland, and Ireland, enjoyed it. So it a lot cooler than when I got back here, so that was a shock. Just getting back into town, I think people did a great job on the 4th of July. It seemed to be same as the past. People have done a lot of work, and it went real well. We went to the community church service on Sunday, and I thought that was very well done by all of the churches. So thank you to everybody that put their time in for that.
Okay, thank you very much. Good to have you back. Mr. Scharf?
Not too much, just the 4th, we had a celebration up here at the courthouse for our Veterans Memorial, and we had a lot of good turnout and a lot of good compliments, and I want to thank the public for it and all the residents of Buchanan County for all their efforts, coming right along.
Good.
Thank you all.
That's beautiful.
And you do still have pavers and stuff for sale?
Yes, we do,
Okay.
and contributions are welcome at any time, and if you go by there at night, it's well lit, it's beautiful. And compliments to Mr. Roger Allen. We had an issue on what kind of rock to put in. Well, if you see the rock, we got what they had, the administration office out there, and that rock come from Montana. So it costs a little bit more, but it's worth it.
It's worth it. I've heard lots of good compliments.
Thank you.
Yep. Mr. O'Laughlin?
It was a great 4th of July, enjoyed the parade, enjoyed the festivities down at the park, and my hats off to the citizens of Independence. They did a wonderful job, and it was fun to celebrate with them.
Okay. Deb?
Yep, same thing. Had great parade, great fireworks, great service at the park on Sunday. Good 4th.
Denny?
Nothing tonight, Mayor.
I just want to echo Celebration Committee and all the volunteers that put in all that work, did a great job. Thank you.
I don't have anything.
Okay. Gina?
Next week and the week following, Susie and I will be at Clerks Institute and Clerks Academy, keeping up with our credits that we need for our certifications. And we're just starting to get ready to do a bunch of our annual reports. We have the street finance report that will be due September 30th, and then we'll be working on our annual financial report too. And all of those have consequences of no revenues if we don't get those turned in. So we'll be focusing our attention over on those now.
I gave each of you a handout on stormwater utilities. There's a symposium coming up the 1st of August. We currently do not have a stormwater utility. I don't know if that's something we ever want to consider, but it is becoming a more and more common theme in communities for dealing with stormwater upgrades and maintenance. So if you have an interest, let me know. It is in Johnston. It's a one-day event, so just for your information. I will point out that, I almost want to say this under hushed breath, but there is a chance that we will be able to close on our property in the south end of town sometime next week. That's a maybe. So,
Ready?
so we're working on that, and I'm hopeful that we can make that happen. It does involve, obviously, the clerk's office will have to cut a check for that and ask for you to approve it as a retroactive payable at the next council meeting. But I'm anxious for that, and if that's the case, we will also have a contract for the Enterprise Drive East construction, their contractor, for you at the 22nd meeting. So today, late this afternoon, everything looked like it was starting to fall into place very quickly. So if we can get everybody on board, that's my hope. we're running out of days on that contract with the contractor, so there's a little bit of a pressure for us to get that done.
We could have closing on that and the grand opening of Rydell's
Kind of
same
simultaneous,
time.
same day.
So, yeah.
They have been doing a lot of work out there.
Yeah, and I want to publicly thank the folks at Rydell for their patience. They took a pretty big leap of faith to start on their project without the street in there, and I'm sure that they're watching pretty carefully on how soon that gets started, but it'll be a good project, and so we're excited about that. That's all I have.
Okay. Well, I kind of want to chime in with everybody, too. I thought our holiday events went well. The parade went really good. It was nice to have national people here, even though they slowed down our parade, and the news media kind of got in the way on occasion, but it still was a good thing to have. I understood, Mike, your name is Mikey. That's what my grandson and his friend that I rode with kept calling you as, oh, there's Mikey. And it's like, kept looking around to see who they were talking about, and it was you.
Not to my knowledge.
You didn't know they call you that?
Now I know.
Yeah. So if you want to let them know whether it's good or not, you,
Sure.
that's up to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when they had the cars lined up, my son came because there was these nice convertibles and then there were some Jeeps and stuff. And most of the cars with my magnetic signs could not attach to the cars. Cars are not made out of metal anymore, I gather. You know, so I got to ride in a Jeep that was hard to get into and was about this far for me to fall out of, to get out of, but my son didn't want us to get any of the convertibles because he was afraid he'd never hear the end of it from his son and riding it. I said, oh, I'm going to hear for over a year. That's what we need to get. I said, so, but that it happened. The Jeep was the same way. Both kids wanted a Jeep after we got done with that. So, but it was an awesome thing. A lot of people put a lot of work into it. I think it was good for our community, you know, keeping us on the map as far as what we do and showed what kind of hospitality we have. So I was proud of everybody that was involved in it and glad they all did their hard work.
I
So
would be surprised if we didn't have more people this year than last year after.
I wouldn't be surprised because there sure looked like an awful lot
I
of
walked the whole
people.
thing, so.
Yeah, it did look fuller, didn't it?
Uh-uh.
Yeah, yeah.
I had to chuckle, and I saw it posted over here too, but England, the Queen, they had a cartoon that said, the colonists seem to be kind of rowdy this week.
That was probably true. Well, if there's nothing else, I will
One other
ask.
thing, I think
I'm
want
sorry?
to thank the street department for all their hard work at getting all these trees cut down just days before the 4th.
Yeah. There was a lot of work that had to be done before the parade, before all the events, and during and after, but I think it went off pretty good without a hitch, and I mean, so it was a nice thing to have. I think the whole town should be proud of the events that we did, so.
I also wanted to thank the council for allowing us to get our stuff rolled out on the 1st. That went really well, and we got a lot done without all those extra interruptions, so we really, really appreciated that. It was very helpful for us.
Only I interrupted them because I couldn't figure out why the door was locked. I was trying to get in. It's like,
Yeah,
"Where's the
Bonnie
door?"
gave us grief for locking her out.
Yes. It's like,
There
we're
there was
closed
your
today. And it's
reason,
like,
we understand.
really? All you gotta do is give me a key. Nobody will give me a key. I can't get in. Okay, I asked for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion, second by Penny. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carried. Thank you all.